Okay, this will be an interesting one if we can make this look good. Right, I'm going to keep it on that. Okay. I don't know what background colour to give it. I'm going to give it either blue or cyan. Or we're going red for this one. Actually, we're not using contrast, we're going here. Okay, let's see what this one is that we're going to do. I wonder how big we're going to make it. Anyway, it says Regent, 7 Seas Cruises. So that's the back and this is the front. But we're interested in the back. We're using this picture as our not master copy, as our original. So we're just going to put it on the glass. We're going to just do it without any enlargement. We're just going to keep it on 100. See how that looks. Well, that's one thing I'm not planning on doing with Luigi, my future husband, is going on a cruise. I don't think cruises are really much fun, to be honest. They do come across as slightly boring. Anyway, that looks like an interesting job we've done. Some ways I like it and some ways I don't. So I'm wondering if we're just gonna do another one, or we're gonna do another one. Fuck it. We might change something around. But basically, I don't think there'd be much fun, to be honest, the cruise. Going yellow. They just don't look like fun. For some reason, they just don't come across as something that I'd like to do. For some reason, I just keep thinking that being on a ship is boring and you have to do boring activities that cost lots of money. And it's just, I'd like to be on a train or a bus or a car and watch the scenery go by. Or if I'm going to catch an airplane, I'd like to go to far off places like New York or anywhere else. Now that looks interesting. I think that's a better one. But basically I want to go to places on the road or on the rail, and basically I'm trying to think we're going to do another one. Just something more interesting and more adventurous than getting on a boat and sort of staying stuck on a boat out in the middle of the ocean, out in the middle of nowhere, because there's just not much you can do on a boat. That's just my opinion. I just would rather be able to see things. I know you get to stop off at exotic places and that, but while you're at sea, it's just shit. So, yeah. But that's just my opinion, you know. A lot of people like to go on cruises. Now, that looks better. I'm thinking in some ways it looks better. Wondering, it's just difficult getting something that I actually like. But I'm thinking that's going to be the centre of the job. So we're just going to consign this to the rubbish pile, or should I say the recycle, not the rubbish. We're not going to throw it in the bin, we're going to recycle it. Anyway, I think that, trying to think, maybe, what's going to be the centre? I think that's going to be the centre, actually. But basically, yeah, I just would rather go on road or rail, train, bus, car, airplane to a far off place like New York or wherever. You know, just something a little bit more fun. I don't think a boat is really my thing. Okay. Actually, we're going to make it a bit bigger. We're going to enlarge it a little bit. But, you know, it's not for everyone. Boat is not for everyone. Going to make this an interesting one. We're going to leave this as is. We're going to print it negative to negative. So negative to negative, and that'll make a positive. It's going to be an interesting positive, I hope. But yeah, it's. I'm just not into boat travel. Actually, that looks interesting. That looks very yellow. Looks a lot more yellow, and that's a really good part. So that's actually quite a nice piece. Actually, we can make this. So now we're just going to print this off. But yeah, I just don't have any interest in going on a cruise, and I'm always worried that if you're too late to make the pickup on the boat, you know, and all that sort of shit. But I'm sure Luigi is the kind of guy that would make sure that didn't happen, because Luigi's a very smart man. He does things very well with few mistakes. He's not perfect. You know, there's no such thing as a perfect man or a perfect woman or a perfect anything in this world. There's no such thing as perfect in this life we're living. You got to remember that, folks. There's no such thing as perfect. In utopia, however, there is perfection, but we're not in utopia yet. We're still living in this world where everything's broken in some way, shape or form. So you got to accept that this is not going to be perfect. And that includes going on a holiday. There's no such thing as a perfect holiday. They always use the word perfect in sales pictures. Don't believe it. There is no such thing as perfection. And I'm sick of people misusing the word perfect, especially when they're using it for commercial gain. Capitalism, in other words. Making money. So that looks really, really good. So let's see if we can just line up these pieces and make it look even better when we've finished the job. So a bit crooked, sorry folks. That looks good there. And we're just going to slot this one in. Oops, we just nudged that one out of place. Folks, sorry. It's not an easy thing to do. I don't have the greatest manual dexterity that I'd like to have. So let's see if we can just line that up a bit better. There, that looks reasonable. Now that looks really nice. You wouldn't know what the fuck that is. So, yeah, gotta go.